Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the pros and cons about buying a Lynx 12. Okay, now this isn't a video about the awesomeness of an AK-47 shotgun. Okay, I think that's kind of obvious on its face value, but specifically on why you would want to or not want to buy a Lynx 12, which is imported by SDS. Okay, so I have here a couple of things I'm going to go through, have pros and cons. I'm not going to fanny boy the Lynx 12 in this video. I'm going to give you both sides of it. So first I'm going to go through the cons because I think that they're very important for you to consider. First con is that shotgun is Chinese made, and China is our natural enemy. Simply because they're number 2, we're number 1 in all of history. Number 2 is always trying to replace number 1. Okay, so that's the natural thing. China is both our economic enemy and also our potentially our enemy on the battlefield. So every time you buy a Lynx 12, you're sending money to our enemy, which is China. But the thing to consider with that is that maybe China gets, I don't know, a couple of $100,000 out of us every year from these Lynx 12 shotguns. Compared to Walmart sending billions of dollars over to China. So you choosing not to buy a Lynx 12 just because it's Chinese made and you don't want to send them money, I mean, it's just a drop in the bucket, or a hole in the water, however you want to look at that. You're not going to have that much of an impact on their economy by choosing to buy or not buy this gun. As far as China being our potential battlefield enemy, hey, I think there's some poetic justice, if it ever came down to it, fighting the Chinese with one of their own guns. Okay, so something for you guys to consider that way. Okay, so that's the first con. It is Chinese made. The second con is that there's a good chance that you may not be able to buy parts in the future for this gun. Okay, there's a good chance that the gun itself, they'll stop the imports of this gun, and there's a good chance that you won't be able to get any future parts. In fact, it's kind of hard to get parts now, although some are available. I'm pretty sure that in the future you probably will not be able to get replacement parts for this gun. And it's a machine. All machines break. The more you use them. I've got 11,000 rounds on this gun. I had to replace the recoil spring at 10,000 rounds because it got just a little bit weak. And I broke the bolt at 11,000 rounds. Okay, and luckily I was still able to get a replacement bolt. I got a few of them, for future. So, if you're gonna buy this gun, be aware that you may not be able to get future parts. However, the gun did go 11,000 rounds before anything broke on it. So that's pretty good mileage. As far as I'm concerned, I already got my money out of this gun just out of the usage that I did on it. Okay. So that's a con. That's con number 2. Con number 3, SDS is the sole importer of that shotgun. So if you have a problem with it, there's only one place that you can go to. And back in 2019, back then I had a Cheetah 12, which was the predecessor to this gun. The Cheetah 12 was a horrible gun, gave me all sorts of problems. Back in 2019, SDS was very responsive when I had problems with that Cheetah 12. In 2020, they were pretty good about, if you were looking to buy stuff from them, they were pretty responsive. If you had a problem, they were not so responsive. So any orders that I placed with them for parts, they ship them out right away. They'll answer questions on that. But if you have a problem, like for example, on this replacement recoil spring that I got, the cover plate that you see right here fell off. Okay, not a big deal. The gun doesn't need it to work. But I did send them 2 emails regarding this. I said, hey, the cover plate fell off. They never responded to it. Okay, so they're good at responding to when you want to buy stuff, but not so good at responding when you have a problem. That's this year, 2020, because hey, I mean, they don't need you as much as they needed you last year. Okay, so that's just the reality of it. So that's a con. And the fourth con on my list, aftermarket accessories. The stock that you see on this gun, I brought this over from my Sega 12s. All right, I had 2 Sega 12s that I have retired. Each of them did about 30,000 rounds. A lot of the Sega 12 parts will fit on this, particularly the cosmetic stuff like like the stocks that fit on this perfectly. I've seen some forearm grips on sale that are designed for the Sega 12. I don't know if it will fit on this or not. I could probably test it out by taking the forearm off of my Sega 12 and putting it on here. I might do that at some point in the future. But at the moment, I don't know if it'll fit on there. I don't know how much work I would have to do to make it fit. But the point is that there's still some aftermarket stuff out there for the Sega 12 that may or may not fit on your Lynx 12. But the point is that there's not a whole lot of stuff being made for the Lynx 12 just because it hasn't been out that long. Not that many have been sold. Okay, so those are my 4 cons. Made in China. You're probably not gonna be able to buy parts in the future. SDS is the sole importer, and you have a problem, that's the only place that you can go to, and who knows if they're answering the phone that day or not. And then the aftermarket accessories are limited specifically for this gun. Okay, so now let's go into the pros. Okay, I think the pros are pretty awesome, and the first pro on my list. Okay, let me take this off. Put this drum on. Okay, this is a street sweeper. Okay, now for those of you that have never heard of a street sweeper, the street sweeper was a shotgun that is a shotgun that the ATF has classified as a Class 3 destructive device. Okay, and basically it was a semi-automatic shotgun, right? It had a drum. Now, the gun is actually a terrible gun in terms of it's got no sights on it. The stock on it is this horrible folding stock that it's possible to get a cheek weld on. The drum magazine is fixed. You can't take it off and put a, so it's a fixed drum magazine. It does not automatically eject the rounds. The shells stay in the drum, and then there's an ejection rod where you manually eject the shell. So it was a horrible gun, except for the fact that it took a drum on it. And the reason why I'm so familiar with it is because I almost bought it. Okay, this is going back about 10 years ago. I ran into a guy at a gun range that had a street sweeper, and I said, "Wow, that is really awesome. I would love that." I was willing to throw all sorts of money at him to buy it. I did not know it was a Class 3 device, a Class 3 firearm. He didn't know it either before I actually went ahead and bought it. All right, and in this state, it would have been legal to do a private sale. Before I went ahead and bought it, I said, you know what, let me just do a little research on it, just so maybe, let me find out if the gun's even going to work a month from now, what its history is. That's mostly what I was interested in. Is this gun going to last, okay? And then I found out that from just doing a quick internet search that it was a Class 3 firearm. I just looked it up with my phone. I thought, listen, guy, this is a Class 3 firearm. I can't buy it, and don't let anybody see it. Take it home, hide it, don't bring it out. I have since, I met this guy that one day. Don't know who he is, don't have his phone number, so, I have no idea where he's at now. But the point is, I've actually shot the street sweeper. It was an awesome concept, because it was such an awesome concept, I said, I really want to have a gun like that. And at the time, just did a little bit more research. I saw that the Sega 12s were available. And I'm like, hell yeah! I immediately bought a Sega 12, and basically it was like love at first sight. Great gun. I bought 2 of them. They each did 30,000 rounds, which I've since retired them because the bolts cracked. The bolt carriers cracked on them. But that's the first pro on my list. Okay, this is a quasi street sweeper, which is a Class 3 firearm. And it's just awesome to have. Okay, so that's the first pro. The second is that it's available. Okay, this is available as of December 2020. I just bought one at the beginning of December. I had it shipped to my FFL, and by the time I got to the FFL to pick it up, I saw that he had mine there. He had a few more sitting in his case for sale, and he said that as soon as he saw mine arrived at the store from Palmetto, because that's who I bought it from, he said he immediately went to their website and ordered as many as he could get his hands on, because he didn't have anything else to sell, right? He couldn't get his hands on ARs, can't get AKs, can't even get Glocks right now in December 2020. So I said, I need something to sell. Awesome gun. and he's and that's why he got it. So it's available. Okay, availability is great. You can here's an AK-47 shotgun that's available as of December 2020. Next on my list, it's $500. Okay, this one, well, not this one, but the one I just got was $533 with the shipping. And I think the first one I bought, I think I paid $450. That came with 2 magazines. They were SDS magazines, which sucked. But the point is that it was $450, came with 2 magazines. The second one I paid, I think, $400. And that was like back in like 2019. So from 2019 to 2020, it's only gone up in price a little bit. Somewhere between $50 to $100. So the point is, you're not paying a huge premium, right? You're not paying a 2020. Gun buying panic premium on this gun. You're getting it at a reasonable price of $500. So that's a big pro. Okay. Next on my list, this works with birdshot. Okay, which is awesome. I've shot lots of different semi-automatic shotguns. I've trained people on different semi-automatic shotguns, and a lot of them will not cycle cheap birdshot. Okay, you have to get the more expensive stuff. Most of them, they gotta have a velocity of more than 1,300 feet per second. Most semi-automatics out there, they will not cycle anything less than 1,300 feet per second. They won't cycle 1,200 feet per second. This does. I mean, I've had 3 of them, and right out of the box, these guys were cycling the cheap 100-round value packs. It works with it. I have heard a few cases where people were having a problem with it. And I did give them some tips to maybe try and get it working. But in general, these work with cheap birdshot. I think that was part of the original design. I think that they were aware. The designers were aware that the people buying these guns for $500 or about there are most likely going to just be shooting birdshot through these guns. Okay. Now it does have an adjustable valve here, so that if you are shooting a buckshot or slugs, you can switch it to a smaller hole, so you're not overgassing the system. And this does take 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells, so it shoots magnum loads. Okay, so but most important, first on my list with a semi-automatic shotgun, it must shoot cheap birdshot. Okay, this gun, I don't think I've ever shot anything other than cheap birdshot with this gun right here. Next on my list, AK durability and simplicity. Okay, this is an AK-47. Okay, you open it up, you clean it just like an AK-47. The only difference I think is really the valve system, the gas valve system. The parts are not interchangeable. With AK-47, they are kind of supersized, but in design, it's an actual AK-47. So you're going to get that type of durability and that type of simplicity with it, which I absolutely love. Next on my list, as of December 2020, you can get parts for this gun. Okay, I've been buying parts all month. There is a limited supply out there. Usually, the parts that are available for this gun that SDS is selling is maybe from guns that were sent back in that they cannibalized. And they kind of say on their website that some of the parts may show somewhere. Some of the parts are brand new, like the replacement bolts that I bought. But there are some parts available for this gun, and I think you should stock up as much as you can on parts. But that is also on my con list, that in the future, I don't think that there's going to be too many parts available. Okay, but as of right now, you can get certain parts for this gun. Okay, next on my pro list, that this takes a red dot, which is awesomeness. Okay, that's a UTG side rail. Okay, it costs $35. So cheap, just standard AK-47 side rail. I have on top of it here the Holosun 503 CU solar powered with a battery backup, and it has that big 65 MOA circle with the 2 MOA dot in the center. Really great for busting clay birds. You can get that circle on the discs really fast. A lot of fun to shoot. So that's a big pro for this, that you can mount a red dot on the side rail. Okay. Next on my list is that it takes the 10-round stick magazines and obviously these drums. Let me put this one back. Okay, so these AGP magazines. Now, mind you, this drum here, I don't think I've used this more than 5 times. So this is a very cool novelty. I think you should definitely have this. But this is a novelty. It does make the gun heavy. Let me put this back on. this is the 20 round drum. The 15 one is a little bit smaller. It's also a little bit more practical because as I hold this here, you can see how that drum wants to hit my forearm. Okay, so that drum does kind of get in the way. So I got the 20 round. I also got the 15 round one. But you must have it. I think it's an awesome novelty, but it's not something that you're going to use too often. Okay? These magazines, these are the AGP magazines. I did a separate video on these. I had a bunch of them that I've had for 8 years. They never had a problem with any of them. I just ordered another 20. You can get them for about, if you order 10, you get them for about $30 each. If you order 20 from AGP, you're paying about $26 each. So these are great magazines. And again, these were carried over from the Sega 12. Okay, so these are Sega 12 magazines that fit the Lynx 12. This is a reason to buy this gun, right? Because you know you can get cheap magazines with a lot of other shotguns out there. You know, you're limited to 4-round magazines or 5-round magazines, because you know, again, this has been carried over from the Sega 12. You know, if you consider the whole lineage from Sega 12 through this, you know, this design has now been around for some 12, 15 years. Okay, I'm kind of guessing that, but you know, it's been around for a while. So that's why these magazines are tested. They've been used for a long time. They're very reliable. Okay, so that's a big pro. These AGP magazines. Next on my list as far as pros. Okay, this shoots a 72 caliber slug. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard of the 458 SOCOM rifle, right? That's basically an AR-15 that shoots 45 caliber bullets, right? Well, this shoots 72 caliber bullets, okay? So that's total awesomeness, you know, being able to shoot 72 caliber slugs out of this gun. And if you get, you know, if you get 3-inch shells with slugs, I mean, man, you know, make sure you adjust your gas valve, you know, so to the biggest hole up there. Now, I'll put the caveat out there that if you're shooting buckshot, right, you're putting more stress on the gun versus birdshot. If you're shooting slugs, obviously you're stressing the gun a lot more. All machines break. The more you stress the gun, the faster it's going to break. So for my purposes, I only shoot birdshot through this, you know, although it is designed to also shoot buckshot and slugs. So the concept of shooting slugs through this, I think, is awesomeness. You know, 72 caliber slugs, man, that's so anyway. And last on my list, this is a great tactical trainer. Okay, I can do stuff with this gun that I can't safely do with an AR-15 or an AK-47. For example, you know, with an AR or an AK, you know, those bullets can go for 2-3 miles. Whereas this, using birdshot, you know, I know it's only going to go out about 200 feet. So you know, I can shoot in directions and at height levels that I normally can't do with ARs and AKs. One of the things I'm able to do with this gun is I'm able to simulate, you know, getting pushed back onto the ground and shooting, you know, at somebody that's jumping on top of me, right? So I can shoot into the air because I'm shooting birdshot. So it's a great tactical trainer. This allows me to do things that I can't do with regular ARs, AKs. For example, I can shoot steel really close. You know, I can shoot steel targets, you know, at 15, 20 feet. You know, I'm not going to shoot steel plate with 223 at that distance because I'm going to get lead back in my face. But with the birdshot, I can safely do that as long as I got, you know, goggles on and stuff like that. So this is a great tactical trainer. You know, you can sling this. You know, I did another video where I had this slung, you know, attach the sling here, attach the sling on the other side. Gun hangs just like an AK or an AR would. So this is a great tactical trainer that allows you to do things that you cannot do as safely, as often, you know, as you can with an AR or an AK. So that's my list of pros and cons. Definitely consider the cons because they're real. But I think that the pros greatly outweigh the cons. Okay, you know, this is a fun gun. You know, you guys know, like I said, I own 3 of them. I've already up to 11,000 rounds on this. As far as I'm concerned, for the $400 or $500 I paid for this, I already got my money out of this. You know, if you get to shoot, you know, 11,000, 10,000 rounds on this gun without a break, you know, you only spend $500 for the gun. I mean, hey, I mean, you got your money's worth. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Put some comments in the comment section if you like the video, if you don't like the video, whatever. The comments actually help. It helps You know, it helps the video be seen, right? It becomes more of a suggestive video. The more activity is in the comment section. Also, the thumbs up help, so we can get, you know, we do this with all my videos because it helps circulate them. And if you're not a member of my channel, please subscribe. See you guys soon.